We are at the 30A Songwriters Festival once again this year for WMOT Radio, sitting in with the Pink Stones.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, y'all.
How are you guys doing?
Great.
Pretty good.
Yeah, a little sleepy, but we're here. Yeah.
There's always that.
Yeah. Super happy to be down here again, though.
It's so great.
Yeah, it's super nice down here.
Yeah, it's a really lovely time. This is Hunter, Michael, Caleb, and recently we saw Caleb in Nashville.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Nashville?
Passing through.
It's playing with Teddy and the Rough Riders at the showcase at the church, Riverside.
Yeah, it's
Very
called
cool.
Wired In. It's a
Wired In.
monthly concert series. And
Very
we had
cool.
Teddy and the Rough Riders come play for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
we love those guys. We just spent a couple weeks on the road with them
Yeah.
last year. So
It's such an interesting time that I think you also embody this sense of the ghosts coming up through the music from past decades and being eternal and very fresh and wonderful. And I see a whole bunch of people doing it, so
Sure.
it's really exciting.
Yeah, the cool thing that Caleb always says is now that we live in postmodern society, you have this this grand wealth of things that happened before you that you can steal from and make your own, and also make your own, do your own things with them. But I was talking to a guy last night at the show, and he was telling me, man. He said to me and Caleb, you guys aren't old enough to know how to play music like this. To which I was like, thank you so much. And then he immediately was like, I'm sorry, was that, but yeah, we like the old stuff, it's good. Yeah, like the new stuff too, though,
Yeah, and actually turning it in and making it your own and taking it into the future is sort of what it's about,
Absolutely,
Those
man.
touchstones are really important. They're about life,
Totally.
I think if you can define what this music is versus pop, this is eternal. This
Sure.
talks about human emotion and
right.
Yeah, I mean, time and place, you think about those things that we think are old, and, there was something before that too, and all those guys were breaking the rules and doing what was new then, which is now grandpa music for us. But, we like our grandpas, I think, so it's okay.
let's talk about breaking the rules. I know that's embedded in your band statement.
Oh, Lord. We haven't gotten in any trouble yet this weekend.
What does it mean to break the rules for you?
Oh, man, I don't know. Obviously we have some rules that we like to follow, and we like to look at the stuff that happened before us and trust that that's, what it should be like. But also at the same time, there really are no rules to break, kind of. So it's like, maybe we don't break the rules because there aren't any anyways. Maybe that's my new thing that I'll think instead.
I'm a relative newcomer to country and Americana music. I have more of a punk rock background. And so for me, coming into the new genre, I have a different perspective to bring to it. And so for me, it's like finding these rules and these places to slot in the music, but also taking an outside perspective and seeing how I can incorporate that in and make it new. It's been a really fun experience for me.
So cool. What about you?
I'm a pretty big champion of closely studying the rules to tastefully break them.
Yeah, I think that's the way.
Yeah, I run everything by him. I'm like this, and he's like, here, listen to these.
Perfect. Michael's like harder, faster, louder, and Caleb's like, no,
please,
less.
no.
Quieter.
Well, it was a lovely, quiet set today.
Yeah.
I'm sure a little bit out of your comfort zone.
I think we're desperately wanting to do more things like that, but the nature of this band is that, we play in bars late at night and there's people. So that means you got to play loud and hard and fast, like I said before. But yeah, the new record that we just made is pretty laid back and acoustic and soft and, so yeah, it's nice. Maybe we'll do more of that. And then we don't have to bring Michael's giant drum kit anymore. He can just bring the one drum.
True, yeah.
It's nice.
No, I'm just kidding. I love your giant drum kit.
It's not too big,
You guys are on the road a lot.
We sure are.
We do travel a lot.
It's there's goods and bads. Most of us don't live in the same town anymore, which is nice because we don't have to hang out all the time. But then it makes you sad when you're not hanging out all the time. So we change that by just staying in the car all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's a great experience to get out and see the whole country, and a little bit of the rest of the world. It's a fun experience to go and see what other places are like, and especially the type of venues that we play, and the music that we play takes us to a lot of interesting small places that you don't necessarily end up at all the time, which has been a really fun experience, like playing in Clarksdale, Mississippi,
Yeah, totally.
like seeing the real stuff.
Every
like
small
the
town
roots.
that you could ever imagine in Sweden, we have probably been to.
Oh yeah, also that. We did spend a lot of time in Sweden.
Which was cool.
I love Sweden.
I liked it very much.
Yeah.
What do you think, Caleb, about traveling on the road?
I think it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
Hopping
there
in the
we
van
go.
and rocking out with your friends.
Yeah,
It doesn't get better than
That's
that.
what I'm talking about.
So true. It's really great. So thank the Lord. It's the Pink Stones is the latest. And what changed for this?
A lot of stuff. The best change was that these guys are here. They didn't play on the first two records, but they played on this one, and they'll play on a million more, hopefully, if I can keep them around. And so Michael played drums on this record for the first time, and Caleb played some pedal steel. And with the changing of members, you're going to naturally, your sound will adjust, but I think it was a good natural change because, I was writing and playing different kinds of stuff and, bringing in Caleb and me and him are playing the same kind of thing. And then Michael, we needed a new drummer and, he fit it perfectly. So there we go. And then what else? What else is new? We put our friend Wyatt Ellis.
Yeah.
Got to play on the record, which was fabulous. And, Libby, who lives in Nashville as well, played some strings. And, yeah, we kind of leaned a little more towards the bluegrass world on this one. I mean, it's not a bluegrass album by any means. But, it's like the Osborne Brothers, a great rule-breaking band, These guys are the best ever, and they did whatever they wanted, which I think is pretty cool.
It is.
So that's what we're doing,
Now, I'm going to ask each of you to talk about growing up and what was around you. So let's start with you, Hunter.
Sure. I grew up in South Georgia. My dad is a drummer, and he had stopped playing music out by the time I was born. But, I had drumsticks in my hand when there's a picture of me when I was like 4 or 5 years old playing drums. So that was good, he was like a rock and roll dude. So some of my earliest like listening experiences are like Sex Pistols and the Ramones, but then also like, the Allman Brothers and lots of stuff like that. I mean, he's a South Georgia guy, so he's all into the Capricorn stuff. And, and then naturally the time that I grew up, the booming super age of social media, as it started, having a punk rock dad was great because then I was super into punk rock music for a super long time, which I still love. But when I was a kid, my grandparents and my mom, they were all closeted country fanatics, mostly closeted around my father because he was like, I only like rock and roll,
There was a dichotomy back then.
Yeah, man.
It was one or the other.
Totally. And so, I heard a bunch of stuff that I appreciate way more now than I did then. But it was cool. Musical experience as a child, started playing young and then still trying to learn how to play now, I guess.
Yeah. I'm from Georgia. I grew up in Augusta. In middle school and high school, I went to a fine arts school there, and that's kind of like where I learned how to play music, play drums and stuff, but it was a performing arts school, so no marching band. So I was trained like in concert percussion. So I came up listening to a lot of that stuff. My dad was a big influence with Motown and Beatles from the 60s and 70s, and a lot of disco too. And then I moved to Athens for school and went to UGA, and I started working at this restaurant there called The Grit. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it, but it was an old school establishment that had been there for like 30 years. And that was like my real musical education. I remember working back in the kitchen, there was a 3 CD changer, and there were 3 cooks who worked in the kitchen. And so each one got to put on a whole CD, and you just had to listen to whatever your coworkers were listening to. But it really was like a learning experience. And there's a ton of music, especially country music, that still is with me now because I was forced to listen to it so much and I used to hate it. And now when I hear it, I'm like, oh, I love this. So that was definitely a huge influence on me.
Taught you patience, probably, having to listen
to
someone else's full CD.
And then also, accepting other things and like really allowing yourself to like be open to different kinds of music. It was a great experience.
What about you, Mr. Caleb?
I grew up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is about 40 minutes south of Nashville.
And the home of MTSU, which is
That's right.
where the radio
right.
station is.
There we go.
The geographic center of Tennessee.
Cosmic.
Cosmic, very cosmic, yeah.
Wow, right in the center.
As far from the border as you can get.
Whoa, yeah.
My dad is a freaky art guy, so I grew up listening to freaky music.
Like what?
Devo and Judas Priest are my two earliest musical memories.
It's pretty freaky.
My mom is a hip nurse with a great music taste as well. When I was a teenager, there was a pretty big garage rock scene in Nashville happening, so I was up there a lot doing that thing, playing in some psychedelic bands.
Little known fact about Nashville is there are so many different scenes.
Oh, totally,
And
yeah.
you can find
Very cliquey.
whatever.
Even within the country scene, there's a lot of cliques,
Yeah, totally.
different tiers
Yeah.
to that as well. But
Absolutely.
yeah, when I was 17, I heard the Byrds' "Sweetheart of the Rodeo," and it changed my life forever.
There you
and
go.
When I was 20, I bought a steel guitar and didn't hang out with any of my friends anymore. And here I am now.
How hard was it to learn to play?
I came from guitar originally. Different technique, but it's not rocket science, as a lot of people like to make it out to be. Anyone can do it.
It looks complicated,
It does look complicated, but
but it makes such a sweet sound.
yeah, I have like a mental illness now.
I think we all do.
It's a steel guitar playing, yeah.
Well, I'm so happy that you brought it, and I'm so happy that you guys came and played for us today.
Yeah, thank you for
course.
having us.
Total
Yeah.
treat getting together, and I look for big things.
Yeah, man, us too. So yeah,
We appreciate it.
find
Thanks for
us.
having us. Yeah, this was super fun.
The Pink Stones for WMOT's 30A Songwriters Sessions.
Heck yeah.